Hi, Misty Ritchie with Palm Coast Real Estate Company, Palm Coast Original Real Estate Company. In this episode of Discover Flagler, we are here at Piece by Pieces, and we're interviewing Tony Mays about this great community resource that we have and all the services that she offers. I urge you all to please come out and support the Piece by Pieces organization, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hi, Misty Ritchie with Palm Coast Real Estate Company with Discover Flagler. I'm here with Piece by Pieces and Tony Mays, and we're going to learn a little bit about their new organization. So, Tony, to start, just tell me a little bit about yourself and background and where you came from and if you have any kids.
Okay, well, I pretty much grew up here. I was born in New York, but my family moved us down here when I was 4 to Palm Coast. So this is a bit personal for me as well. I'm picking up on that as I go. Grew up here. Moved away when I was like 19 and ended up back 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it's always been a place that it seems quieter. Mm-hmm. People keep to themselves a lot, I feel like.
We do.
And so, like, you know, it's a lot different than, say, up in New York. You, like, talk to your neighbors and, you know, you have more interaction. Mm-hmm. So that was a big thing that we wanted to do, was create a community place to build more interaction. Myself, I also own a full-time in-home daycare. So I've always worked with children. It's always been a love of mine. I have my kids. Well, me and my husband have our kids. We have a bunch. I started with 1, and now we have 5. He had 4 when we got
And that's
together.
a big jump from 1 to 5.
Yeah. It is.
But people say after you have 2, the rest don't count. It's just all the same.
Yeah. So I wanted 2, but we got 5, so we're good.
So what was your inspiration for starting the Piece by Pieces?
So the suicide rate is what really pushed us into it. We've been talking about creating a community place for a while. Mm-hmm. I'm a yoga instructor, so I began actually teaching kids, which is the opposite. Most people would start with adults. So I began teaching the kids the stress management. So yoga is a lot more than postures. It's stress management. It's about learning to use your breath, just creating that centering within yourself. So I believe
kind of learning how to cope, a
yes,
management technique that
stress
you can
management is how I explain it to the parents, mm-hmm. because we need to get them when they're young so they know how to deal with their emotions growing up. So they go through all this turmoil, and then when they're adults, maybe they can better regulate.
Exactly.
So I started with kids, then moved to adults, and then I started the yoga 12-step recovery. And so I teach a class Wednesday nights out of Project Warm as well. So that's where that started, and then it just kind of snowballed into this.
Grew.
Yeah, because I just kept seeing all the suicides. Mm-hmm. And I would show my husband, we'd talk about it, I'd get emotional. I think it is partly because I grew up here, mm-hmm. and I don't know, I feel things pretty deeply. So he's like, so let's try to create a place. So with that and the lack of mental health resources here, also just the lack of community, mm-hmm. like we were talking about, just people not knowing how to connect. Like, let's create a place with a variety of wellness where people can find their piece mm-hmm. of wellness, but also use it to connect to each other. So that's why we have the kid yoga, we have the meditation classes, but we also have, like, painting. And we have people that bring in kid culinary classes are starting this week, which is exciting.
So that's a great reason to have an inspiration to start something big and something good for the community.
Right, and a big part of it too is we wanted to bring in as much support for everybody as possible. So we have our community gatherings for different things. So we have a family of first responders group. We have an anxiety depression group, mindful addiction recovery. So we also have things like that, and those are where the nonprofit that is attached to us comes in, because our goal is to have sponsors and people from the community help with the nonprofit to help support the donation and free offerings. So we have classes that cost, of course, like the yoga and stuff, but we always keep those affordable. But those donation and free offerings are something that are very important to us to have.
Do you have a mission statement or something like, what is your big mission and your big goal?
Right. So the mission of the nonprofit is find your piece by pieces. Whatever your pieces of wellness may be, one of them should be community, because we all find wellness in a different way. Yours is going to be completely different than mine, but community should be one of them.
Exactly. So come together as a mm-hmm. community and help each other out so that you know you always have a place and a place where you can fit in. So tell me what kind of programs that you offer. I know you touched on it a little bit, mm-hmm. but kind of give me like a rundown of what kind of programs you have right now that's on your calendar?
Okay, so we start all the way from babies and go all the way up to the seniors. So we have baby toddler yoga Wednesday mornings, 10:15. Of course, they're babies and toddlers, so they don't sit still.
Of course.
Well, we get in about like a 20-minute yoga class because we do a kidding around yoga. So it's games, songs, interactive stuff. But there, you would be amazed. I have the moms tell me the babies are like touching their fingers because we do a meditation where you touch your fingers.
Aww.
So we do peace begins with me. And so they'll tell me at night, like their 3-year-olds are doing it before bed. It's just, it's very, it touches my heart.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy to see that the little ones are
learning.
They can start so young. Right. So we have the babies. And then we do, of course, the kindergarten through 5th grade program, which is, I was just promoting at the back to school bash as well. So that one is going to take off. Like I already know that one. It's filling up. We have the senior time on Tuesdays.
Oh, I didn't know you had a senior time. That's nice.
Yeah, so we do that at 4 o'clock. So she comes in and does like painting and different things, just depending on the week. Trying different avenues. Here in the community lounge. So the community lounge is where we do a lot of the support groups. Well, self-help groups, community gatherings. We try to stay away from support groups because people tell us they don't want to just go talk about their problems, which we understand. And we're like, okay, well, let's create something different. So come in, be around other people who are going through the same thing. You can talk about the issues. You can just connect with each other. The groups kind of take on a life of their own, like depending on what the people in the group want.
So you kind of have a group that can talk to each other without any expectations, and in the process, they're here creating something that they can do together.
Exactly.
They can reflect on together, but there's no pressure.
No pressure. Like build a support system. It can stay in this room, or you can exchange numbers and have friends outside these doors that are dealing with the same things. We have our little meditation nooks. Like if you need a moment, go take a second, go put on the headphones with the sound machines.
It's really good. I mean, really, really good. So I know that you have a community calendar. Where can you find the calendar?
So that is on piecebypieces.net, and that is printable on there as well. And then on Facebook, we post everything to Facebook. That seems to be a very big way to get things out right now.
Yes, social media is the way to get everything out. So you just had your grand opening, so tell me about that and how that went.
That went really well. We had this place packed.
I was here for it for just a little while, and it was packed. It was one of the biggest grand openings that I've ever seen.
The community really came out to support, which is amazing. It just shows us that we're on the right track. Like, Flagler County needs this.
Yes.
Like, we know that there needs to be changes higher up, like with mental health resources and all that. But on the community level, it needs to change as well.
Exactly.
Everybody needs to come together and be there for one another. Like we started a campaign, Flagler County Create Signs for Change, that we're trying to get up and going, where you make a sign with a positive statement, like keep going, hold on. They're in our windows as well. So we're reaching out to businesses and people that want to put them maybe in their window or in their yard, because you never know who's going to see that. Like somebody could be having a really rough day and just need to see something positive.
Wow, that's really, really good. So local businesses can make those signs and put them in their windows.
Definitely. We would love for that to happen.
Really
and
good.
If you really don't have time to make a sign, we will make a sign for you.
So all you have to do is pick it up and put it in the window. How much easier can it be?
Yes. So we started that because the suicide rate, again, it's high here. And we want to draw attention to that, draw awareness. And I've dealt with things in my past as well. So it comes from that aspect also. I went through where I came pretty close to doing that, and somebody reaching out at the right moment. I got a phone call. That's all it took, was a phone call. Now, of course, there was still work to do after that.
Right.
But that phone call just, I don't know. It just
to
made
know
me,
that there's someone there.
Yeah, it was a friend.
That's what this place makes it great, is because people know there's someone there and that they can reach out. But there's no pressure to do anything, but they have someone that they can reach out to.
You could just come because you want to take a class. Like, this place is for everybody. You can come just for a yoga class because you want to do yoga. So it doesn't really necessarily, because I've had people ask me, is it only for people dealing with problems? I'm like, no, it's a whole big thing. Like, anybody's welcome here.
So where do you see yourself going in the future? What do you have planned for Piece by Pieces going forward?
Building up the calendar. We want the community lounge open during the day. So we are reaching out for volunteers People who want to hold space for a couple hours during the day, come in, just be here in case somebody needs to come in or wants to come in and have a cup of coffee, be around other people. Just, again, I keep coming back to the word community. It's really what it's about. So the lounge is something we'd like to see open more. And I do have people reaching out to me, how can I help? How can I volunteer? At the grand opening, we were all wearing blue shirts. We have a good amount. Somebody donated the shirts, which was an awesome idea.
That was really good.
Yes.
I like that. Well, that comes to my next big questions I was going to ask. So how do you think or feel that us as a community can pitch in and help you be successful here?
Well, we have a few different ways. We are looking for sponsors. Businesses and individuals. We have different levels. We have affordable ones as well. Or if you don't even need to do a monthly donation, you can just do what you can. Come to classes. Come to the groups. Like, that is a way to support us. Our groups, we do put suggested donation, or we may just say, if you can, make a donation. Our community gatherings are not, I can't speak today. Donations accepted but not required.
Okay.
So we don't want anybody to come into a community gathering and feel like they have to pay to be at the postpartum depression group or to be at the anxiety depression group, because those are things that we want to stay under the nonprofit and hope that sponsors, businesses, individuals will help us
to help it, so that everyone can have access to this a lot easier without feeling like they have to give money.
So that's one way. We rent space. So some of our classes, not all of them are run by me. Some are run by volunteers. So we have people volunteer, like the other yoga instructor. He's like, I just want to help. He's like, can I teach a class? So he teaches Sunday mornings, and everything that comes in, he gives to the nonprofit.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Don't you have like the Dance to Fit class?
Yes,
here?
the Dance to Fit class.
Okay.
So that's another way. So she actually rents space. So we want to bring in as many pieces of wellness as possible. So if you have a piece of wellness you want to bring in, like we have an essential oil workshop tonight. So they rented the space for the hour, and like Dance to Fit, she charges her customers and she keeps whatever she makes. So in that way, we're also helping others who help the community. And
so other people that have a business that has to do with wellness can come in here and rent a space, and you all can kind of just work together and get the word out together.
Yeah, so they advertise themselves, but we also advertise them. We have somebody who wanted to rent it out for a baby shower, and next month I think it is. So these curtains behind us, they actually move, so it can open the space that big, and it can be rented for events as well, like small gatherings.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I love the idea. I just think it's something that this community really needs. So thank you for taking your time to talk with us. And you can check out Piece by Pieces. They're located in the St. Joe's Plaza. They also have a website, Facebook page, and Instagram. So I will be posting all of that for you to check them out. It's a great thing that we need in our community, and I hope you will support it. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this episode of Discover Flagler at Piece by Pieces with Tony Mays. It is a fantastic organization that I encourage our whole community to come out and support. And I look forward to our next episode of Discover Flagler. Thanks for watching.